Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
I have an estimate from my local auto shop.
I'll take a look.
The very next morning.
All right.
Thank
We
you.
jumped straight to the estimate.
All right.
We didn't even talk about the damage. You're
Yes,
like, no,
we
let me
didn't.
show you what happened. What had happened was, in my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. Did you slap him?
I did slap him.
Stop. In that scenario, who should pay for it? Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. You don't provoke people when they're dealing with issues involving their mental health. Now, as a parent, that's the takeaway.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Michelle Perry claims rogue fireworks damaged her car and says her neighbor is to blame for playing in the street with explosives. Ms. Perry is suing Gilbert Ramos in the amount of $2,000.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. All right, Ms. Perry, you're suing for $2,000. Mr. Ramos, you believe, caused some firework damage.
That is correct, Your
All right,
Honor.
ma'am, knock my socks off.
I enjoy being a lifelong resident of the beautiful city of Inglewood for my whole life.
Okay.
About 16 years ago, I moved into my HOA community.
Yes.
And I've really enjoyed living there until, unfortunately, about 6 years ago, Mr. Ramos here moved in.
6 years is a long time. So you've had a situation where there's been some sort of pattern in terms of his behavior, and you've been able to respond and see how he is as a neighbor. What have been any issues that you...
Oh, there have been many, many issues, and not just with me. The whole street's been complaining about him from pretty
Okay.
much the first week he
We're
moved
not
in.
here to deal with everybody else in the street. We're only here to deal with you. So I'm going to start with one complaint that you had involved what?
Yes, sir. In 2019, his young children were unsupervised. In the early evening, they ran through my front yard. They had sticks and bats, and they battered my prized camellia bushes. They completely flattened one, and when I politely discussed it with Mr. Ramos, he became very snide, as he usually does. Called me the B word.
No, that's not true.
Hold on a moment.
You insinuated that I don't like children. Why would I be a librarian
children.
if I didn't like children?
Hold on a moment. Let's go back. Something happened in 2019. Are you denying that, sir?
No, Your Honor, that did happen.
Do you have children?
I do. I have two beautiful children,
You
2
have
and 4.
Of course they're beautiful. What's your proximity to Miss Perry's property?
We live right next to each other.
So you're right
We're
next door to each other. And I take it from the time that you moved in till now, you've had situations with...
Yes, quite a few, as a matter of fact. It's never a simple case with her.
But let's talk about the case involving the kids and them running across her lawn.
It was just this morning. My kids saw her flowers.
So you're not disputing that something
No,
happened?
it happened. They pulled one of her flowers out. I felt bad.
They're kids?
Yeah.
All right.
It was harmless. They were just
Well,
playing.
it wasn't harmless from a standpoint of, did they cause damage?
They did. They did.
Did you pay for the damage?
I offered to buy her a new flower,
No.
and she didn't want it. She said she was so upset that
What
I
did she
ruined
say
it.
she wanted?
She didn't want nothing. She just wanted my kids off her lawn. I understood. I
All right.
apologized.
She said, I just don't want them intruding and trespassing on my
Absolutely.
space.
Yeah.
Is that unreasonable?
No, not at all. Not
Okay.
at all.
So what she was asking for was something that, as a good neighbor, you don't have to be friends,
Right.
but as a good neighbor, you said, okay, they're young, but I understand your perspective.
Right.
All right, so now we have a situation where you had damage to your car. There was some sort of celebration.
That is correct.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Well, that happened just recently on this last glorious Juneteenth.
Right. What do you know about Juneteenth?
Oh, I know a thing or two about Juneteenth.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
As a lifelong educator, first in classrooms and currently at libraries,
Okay.
I was thrilled to hear that Juneteenth is getting the respect that it deserves. I know exactly what it means, although many of my neighbors don't even know much about it yet, that I believe, if I'm correct, that Texas was the last state for slaves to even realize that they had indeed been freed.
Yeah, because
Yes.
when President Lincoln declared the Emancipation Proclamation in, what was it, January of 1863, but the people of African origin who were enslaved, who lived in Texas, didn't find out until 2 years later. And you were celebrating
Yeah, we
that.
were having barbecues. Everyone knew it was going to be a big event on our block. You know,
Okay.
We had sent like pamphlets out 2 weeks before, and they knew there was going to be drinks, food, barbecues, and fireworks. You know, it's a tradition.
Coming up on America's Court.
This is a situation where you believe Mr. Ramos caused damage to your vehicle from the use of his fireworks.
That is
Correct?
correct, yes.
How do you prove that?
And later,
45 minutes in, is that when you're like, oh, I gotta use the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, you are killing the whole vibe of the drive and the
I have a
excitement.
medical condition.
Okay, all right.
this is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Michelle Perry, who is suing Gilbert Ramos for property damage.
Were there other people in the community that also were engaging in the use of fireworks?
Of course, it was a big event. There
It
was
was a big
tons
event.
of people.
All right. So everybody's celebrating Juneteenth in the neighborhood, and this was taking place outdoors on the street.
Correct.
If I may, Your Honor.
Answer that question first. Was this taking place outside on the street, in a public street?
Yes, as well as inside spilling out into front yard.
All right, so on his property, it included being on his property as well as in the street. This is a situation where you believe Mr. Ramos caused damage to your vehicle from the use of his fireworks.
That is
Correct?
correct, yes.
How do you prove that?
Exactly.
I have an estimate from my local auto shop.
I'll take a
The very
look.
next morning.
All right.
Thank
You
you.
jumped
me everything
straight
you
to
want to
the
give me.
estimate.
All right.
We didn't even talk about the damage. You're
Yes,
like, no,
we
let me
didn't.
show you what happened. What had happened was,
What happened?
Can I have all that?
Absolutely. Thank you very
Well, you
much.
two are having a conversation.
Yeah,
I'm
I know,
trying to
I
get
understand.
evidence. That's yours, all right.
That's more
okay,
than-
you got a lot of data here. Let's take a
I
look.
do.
All right.
So
Knowing what the invoice is in terms of the cost for the labor and paint, we will get to that. I see, is this your hood?
that's the hood of my custom van, yes.
Was Mr. Ramos the only one doing fireworks?
He is the only one along with his children and his guests.
It's not true.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought the conversation was, and the testimony was, everybody was out celebrating and
That's
using
correct.
fireworks.
That was his testimony. That's not my
You
testimony.
didn't see anybody else,
That's a fly.
all the homes in that area, you're saying his gathering was the only ones involved in firework display.
On our cul-de-sac, yes. That he
Okay.
and
Oh,
his
come
guests
on, you
were
know
the
the
only
whole-
ones that
the
I saw.
whole-
And how
Come on.
long did you observe him engaging in fireworks?
I went inside my home approximately 12:30 a.m.
Okay. When did the fireworks start?
Fireworks started about 7:15, just before dusk.
All right. And when you went into your house at around midnight, did you see any damage to your vehicle?
I did not see any damage to my vehicle at the time.
Okay. Did you see anyone either in Mr. Ramos's party, his children, or he himself set off fireworks that landed on your vehicle?
I saw them land around my vehicle. I did not see them prior to going to bed land on my vehicle. I did not find the damage on my vehicle until the following morning when I
Got
went out to my
it.
car.
Mr. Ramos, let me go back to you. Was there a conversation on Juneteenth in this particular instance where you were setting off fireworks near her vehicle?
We were in the middle of the street, for sure, and we were on my driveway, and
Where was her car parked?
that's the thing. I asked her nicely if she could move her car in the driveway a block away.
Where was she parked?
On the street where we were doing our
Why
fireworks.
did you ask her to move her car into the driveway?
I asked her because everyone else had cleared up the street. It was a busy night. We had fireworks, and it was just a precaution. And she was the only one who deliberately told me she hates fireworks. She's called the police on many other people for parties.
We're not talking about anybody else other than you. How many times did she call the police on you?
Twice.
And what were those 2 occasions involving?
The first one was like an argument outside our house. Just
Between
like,
who and who?
It's just friends and I, essentially. We were
All
just
right. There was some sort of kerfuffle with you all, and she didn't know what was going on. She called the police.
She just called the cops on us.
What was the second time?
Well, now, you know what.
She called the police the night for this incident?
Yeah.
And how many other neighbors were setting off fireworks?
Honestly, there was like 5 or 6 people that were on the street.
5 to 6 people further down the street?
Same area, you know, further down.
How close do you live to the cul-de-sac?
Right on the cul-de-sac.
You're a part of the curve on the cul-de-sac.
Correct.
So she's right next to your house.
Yeah.
And is she sort of in the midst of that cul-de-sac and you're on either one side or the other?
That's right.
Because if it's a cul-de-sac, it's pretty easy to sort of narrow down where these things are coming from.
Correct. Yeah.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel is going to come down in favor of the defendant. And it's a tough call for me to make because there is a strong possibility that he caused the firework damage. But in order for a plaintiff to win in a civil case, it has to at least be 51% plaintiff and 49% defendant. And right now, I'm kind of like, I can't say with certainty because there's no nexus, there's no video, there's no direct evidence. And so when there's a conflict, you must give the benefit of the doubt to the defendant. Ma'am, unfortunately, your case is dismissed. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
You guys going to discuss this outside, or we're good?
I think this is right. You suck.
All right, we can step out now. I think we've said enough.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
We stopped for a gas station. Finally, she listened to me, and I go use the restroom, and the restroom is out of order.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Kelly Brooks claims she received an indecent exposure citation after her friend refused to stop at a working restroom and says the defendant needs to pay up. Ms. Brooks is suing Tanya Griffin in the amount of $1,785.
All right, Ms. Brooks, you're suing Ms. Griffin for $1,785, correct?
That is correct.
All right, what's good? Talk to me.
We've been best friends for 4 years. We attended the same college.
So this should be an exciting time.
It should be.
You don't look so excited.
Well, I mean, my best friend's suing me.
So the question is, why is she suing you?
We were going on a road trip for spring break.
I read about the road trip. You guys were going down to Florida. Let's talk about the incident. Talk to me.
So we had stopped about 45 minutes before we got to Jacksonville.
45 minutes before Jacksonville, and is that when you had stopped just 45 minutes ago?
Yeah.
And you went and used the bathroom then?
No, because
I don't need to know why. I just need to know. When you were in Jacksonville, did you use the restroom?
I did not, because I did not need to go at the time.
45 minutes in, is that when you're like, oh, I got to use the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, you are killing the whole vibe of the drive and the
I
excitement.
have a medical condition.
Okay, all right. Do you really have a medical condition?
I do, yes.
Did you know that she had a medical condition?
Like, we've been friends for 4 years.
That's a yes.
I've been aware.
Because without even asking, if you all have been friends for that long, you know she sometimes has to use the bathroom frequently.
Coming up on America's Court.
I ultimately had to use the restroom outside. I got a ticket for indecent exposure.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Kelly Brooks, who is suing Tanya Griffin for $1,785.
Does she ultimately keep driving, or does she ultimately stop?
So we were driving to Daytona when we hit traffic.
That's to be expected. So you hit traffic, you got to use the bathroom. Do you pull over?
I did, once it was obvious that we weren't
How
gonna
much
get there.
time went by from the time she said, I really need to go, to the time that you actually pulled over?
I don't remember, like half an hour.
Ultimately, you stopped. And what happened when she stopped?
We stopped for a gas station. Finally, she listened to me, and I go use the restroom, and the restroom is out of order. I come back and I tell her that the bathroom's out of order. There is a fast food joint 2 miles away, less than 5 minutes. And she ultimately refused to go down the street for me to use the restroom.
So the amount of money here, the $1,785, is for what?
It's for the ticket that I was given for.
Why were you given the ticket?
Because I ultimately had to use the restroom outside. I got a ticket for indecent exposure. It could have been worse because a couple kids reported me.
So you get this ticket. Is that why we're looking at her reimbursing you?
Yes, as well as the rental car that I had to take
Why did you have to
fight
meet-
the ticket in Florida, the hotel.
Because you had to go back and make an appearance.
Yes, and the plane ticket to go to and from Florida to fight this ticket.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel is going to come down in favor of the defendant, because the distress didn't come from the using of the bathroom. Now, if she had made you use the bathroom on yourself and wouldn't allow you to get out of the car, locked you down, it just so happened that at that particular time, people saw you using the bathroom outside. She could not have foreseen that that would be a consequence of that behavior, nor could you have foreseen it. If anything, I don't know if you had a public defender or a private attorney, but typically when you're charged with indecent exposure, especially in Florida, one of the elements is that your behavior was lascivious. Based on what you're saying, even if you took it to trial, I know you don't necessarily want to do that, but I don't think the average juror would find that just you having to use the bathroom because the restroom was closed meant that you were engaging in indecent exposure. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But even in terms of negligence, you're a private individual. She didn't have a duty of care to you in terms of getting you to any particular place in terms of the restroom. So I understand why she's no longer your best friend, but in terms of this case, you can't meet your burden. Your matter is dismissed. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed. Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.